Sean Payton probably has meant as much to the city of New Orleans as any athlete they've ever had in Louisiana. He didn't play. He was a coach. But in 2006, fresh off of Katrina, a team that was practicing in San Antonio, drifting around, heck, in Dallas that year, we played them in Shreveport during the preseason, a city and region that was decimated. They brought in a guy off the scrap heap in Drew Brees, who had just had his shoulder pieced together after just getting it shredded right at the end of the season the year before. And together, those guys built a winner, from the rubble in New Orleans. And they ultimately brought the city a championship, a Super Bowl crown, something they never had. For that, Sean Payton's beloved. 16 years he dedicated down there. He loves the region. He loves the people. His legacy said he wanted to be someone who coached with passion. Well, he did it the right way. And you know what? Despite Bounty Gate and everything else, Sean Payton was pretty much universally loved by a lot of his players. I enjoyed playing against him. He was a great offensive schemist, as good as anyone. I'm talking Andy Reid, McVay, Shanahan, all these guys. I played against some of them. He's as good as anyone at finding matchups and taking advantage of people. But New Orleans is in a terrible cap situation. They've got a great team, but will they be able to keep it together? And they don't have a quarterback. So you've got all the pieces except the main one, and you're going to have a hard time getting one given your salary cap situation. So that's the deal that they're battling right now in New Orleans. And I completely get it and understand it. I think Sean's probably burnt out a little bit. Maybe takes a year off, does some TV. But this is the most important thing of note. People have connected him to the Dallas Cowboys. He's not going to Dallas this year. I would be very surprised if that happens. I think he takes a year off. But what that does, that puts Mike McCarthy on notice today. You better have that team in the NFC Championship. You probably better get him to the Super Bowl, or this is your last year in Dallas. Because Jerry Jones and the affinity and the friendship that him and Sean Payton have, it's known. He was there with Bill Parcells. They've flirted before. I think he's always been the apple of Jerry's eye. And if he can get him, he will. So I think Sean's probably saying, hey, pump the brakes, give me a year off. Let's refresh. Let me recharge the batteries, do a little TV, get into this. If you need me in the future, I'll be around. Mike McCarthy on notice. I think you're safe for this year because the fact that his job came up, that Sean's available now, possibly in 2023, I think that saved Mike McCarthy in 2022 because they're not going to hire a guy to potentially fire him and bring in Sean. But like I said, it gives you 1 year to get this thing done. 1 year. And so we'll see. Things turn around. And he might have to do it without Dan Quinn, as he might be getting another job with New York or whoever knows where he could land, as he's one of the hot coaching commodities that you're going to find.